Hello and welcome to the Gooner Gathering Transfer Deadline Day special. And joining me, I am the poshest man in sports entertainment, Posh Bertie. And joining me today is the one, the only. He is not getting older. He is a classic, according to what his T-shirt says. It's Gooner Lee Mead. He's becoming a classic. He is a classic in my opinion already. How are you?
I am absolutely brilliant. I've got a cup of tea with me. I'm up for a busy night of transfer action. It's going to be a good stream, mate. I'm looking forward to this.
Excellent. It is, of course, transfer deadline day. Don't worry, I'm not going to do a Jim White impression. Don't worry about that.
But got some breaking news.
But he is
Matai.
I'll
refrain from doing that.
It is, of course, deadline day today, meaning that a lot of things, as Lee said, a lot of things are going to be breaking very quickly. And I will say, transfer deadline day is your anniversary of becoming a football content creator, if you will.
If you will. So,
yes.
Absolutely, mate. I put the tweet out last night. So it literally was probably about this time, actually. I'm over there in the kitchen with my dear wife. Some of my wife's friends might see this because we're on my Facebook page as well this evening. So welcome everybody across all platforms. I got a message from Stephen Best after they'd started the stream saying, "How do you fancy joining us?" I'm like, "Oh God." And there I was. Had no time to set up my light. It's not much better tonight, to be fair. But there I was shining away on the screen, and I felt well used to performing. As a lot of people who know me, I'm a bit of a showman. So hey.
And now here you are. You've taken me under your wing, and then yeah, that's what it's become. And let's get in. Excellent. Let's get into the transfer deadline day business here. 15 minutes ago, I've got Fabrizio Romano's Twitter account on my phone here. He has said 15 minutes ago, Marcel Sabitzer to Man United, here we go. And when he says here we go, it happens. And
absolutely. A bit of context on this one, shall we? Because I believe Christian Eriksen has picked up a rather nasty injury. I believe he's going to be out until at least late April. So I would suggest United probably weren't going to be in for much business today until that happened.
And then that news came out.
And it appears from everything that I've been watching over the last couple of hours that everyone and anybody have been on the phone trying to offer players, etc. You know how deadline day works. It can go from absolutely silent to chaotic very, very quickly. We've seen it many a time.
Yeah. Like Peter Odemwingie.
Absolutely. I don't think he's rolled up in a car outside the car park just yet. But
no,
I'd certainly be if Fabrizio's saying here we go, that's definitely one that looks like it could happen. I must say I don't know too much about him. He's coming on loan. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, full agreement reached on loan deal, no buy option, he says.
And that from what club's that? Is that from Bayern?
Bayern.
Right. Okay. So is he a sort of similar sort of style to Eriksen, or?
I'm not sure, but I think I think it's a good temporary replacement for him. I'd say. I think he'd be quite decent for them. I think we'll go to what we were going to headline this video for in a way, and that is that Arsenal, it's not confirmed from their Twitter or any social media yet, but it's all but done and dusted. Arsenal have gone and signed the former winner of the Euros last 2 years ago, Jorginho from Chelsea for £12 million, which is tuppence in today's money.
Look at him.
But now I am very, very unsure about this one. I've seen both sides of the argument. When I first heard this transfer was going to happen, you know what I'm like with knee-jerk reactions. I thought, okay, we're becoming a Chelsea retirement home, aren't we? Willian,
Yeah.
David Luiz, now Jorginho. He's not is he really what we need? He's not exactly the player he once was. Yes, Arteta wanted him when he was at Man City. That was 6 years ago.
You took the line out of me there, mate. We're unscripted, ladies and gentlemen, this evening.
We're uncut, uncensored, and
absolutely.
I think,
there's all the references coming out. I was so good yesterday with Fran, I behaved myself. I don't think I got one wrestling reference in. I'll bring him back the gimmick today.
But Jorginho, and I said that when Chelsea are going for Enzo Fernandez and we could pay the extra money for Caicedo, here we are with Jorginho, who's not exactly been on fire as of late. But at the same time, after a few hours, I thought, okay, he's not going to be playing every game. He is a bit of a rotation player in terms of he's a bit of squad depth. But I don't know. I think we do need to bolster our midfield. I'm not sure if he's the answer to that. What say you?
So I went on air about 15 minutes after this news broke last night with Fran. And I knew it would provoke a bit of a reaction. I knew it would. So my thoughts are, so we've got a guy here who is a really decent player, who's really experienced.
Good penalty taker.
Oh, I said on the stream, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that hop, skip and a jump. I'm not. But what I am a fan of is his leadership. I'm a fan of the way he plays. He's going to be a deep line midfielder. He's going to be, like you said, Xhaka and Partey have been pretty much irremovable in our midfield. I thought it sounded like a decent move to me. Decent money for, I think, about 18-month contract. I think it's a really good shout. I think it's I would like a little bit more if possible, but and they are saying that it's a deal that's been done with, it's not to say that we can't go for anybody else. I wouldn't be surprised if we'll have in a couple of hours' time, whoever may be on this stream at that time, that there'll be a completely different name that we might be talking about that could be coming into our midfield. But
absolutely.
As far as this goes, I'm happy, mate. I'm happy with it. And I know it's going to divide. I'd love to know anyone that's in the chat who's watching us at the moment. Tell us what you think, and if there's anybody that you want Arsenal to go for and have a try for this window, this January notorious window. It's always very difficult. We shall see what happens. Oh, I hope I don't disappear. There you go. I'm good. You good?
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. But yeah, it's what I noticed is that we seem to not get all the big name players. Vlahovic last year, and Mudryk, and now Caicedo maybe, and I just fear it might happen with Declan Rice in the summer, as we have not managed to get the more bigger name players, because we seem to be too scared to pay an extra sum of money. It's not going to break the bank or anything.
Yeah.
That's why people are getting a bit anxious, and why #EduOut was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it.
Which
how about we look at from the Brighton point of view? I think that's probably quite important to do, certainly in terms of this deal that we're talking about, because they don't really want to derail their season, and they're not going to want to lose a key man in their midfield. And yes, I'm aware of the tweet that allegedly went out, or whatever it was on social media. I don't know if that came from the player directly, or if it came from one of his team or whatever. But I do appreciate if someone says to you, "Thank you, Sam Wilson. It'll be cool to see you. Thank you for dropping in on the comments." So listen, you could have said, if they say he's not for sale, he's not for sale. The Modric one, I get that we weren't going to be bullied into a price tag, and as it goes, I thought we did rather well in going for Trossard at the end of that for
Yeah.
a much better transfer fee as far as I'm concerned. And look at the debut. Did you want to talk about his debut a little bit at Manchester City?
Against Man City, I didn't see the whole game. I saw the highlights, and he did impress. He did impress.
He looked very comfortable.
I hope he continues.
Yeah, absolutely. And starting potentially Saturday, eh? But we'll see how it goes. You know, he's again with Trossard. We kind of knew what we were getting because he's been playing Premier League for a little while. He's already got 7 goals off the top of my head for Brighton this season. And I know Madrid started quite well. I know he had a 15, 20-minute cameo.
Yep, very impressive.
Very impressive, very quick player. And yeah, I'm quite, you know, we kind of knew he was going to, if you got pace in this league, you're going to do pretty well anyway. Yeah, this is probably going to work very well for him. But look how much money, I'm very like seeing transfers fees like being that I'm very old. I look at it and I think, oh my goodness me.
You're not getting older. You're becoming a classic. Look at your T-shirts.
Absolutely. But, you know, I think, nah, as soon as Chelsea were interested in it anyway, it was never going to happen, was it? No matter where they are in the league, you can throw the cash at anyone and they're going to be interested. Big up to everybody in the chat, by the way, where numbers are coming in everywhere. So, you know, as it says there in the comment, you know, in the little banner across, feel free to answer any or ask any questions you want to here, because we're going to be here a long time.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure if I'll be here a long time, but we'll have to see how it goes. But I'll be there.
You'll be there for me when the rain starts to fall.
Oh.
Thank you.
So elsewhere, in with the new but out with the old, Sambi Lokonga is going to be going on loan to Crystal Palace. It's done and sealed, according to old Fabrizio. And
Sky are reporting that as well now.
Sky reporting it as well. Okay, so Lokonga, I would probably say, with all due respect to him, of all of the midfielders we have had this season, I think he was probably the weak link, I'd say, in the midfield.
Or the rough diamond.
Sorry?
Or the rough diamond, perhaps.
He's a rough diamond. Yeah, I mean, he's not really caught my eye a little bit, really, hasn't he, Lokonga? What have you made of his progress at Arsenal so far? I'm trying not to be mean, but
no, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. So my feeling is, I'm not, and you know me well enough, Posh. You know me well enough. So I won't say boo to a goose unless one just popped up in front of me. But look, with Sambi, he's had a real struggle. I'm not going to lie about that. And when he came on against City on Friday,
I really questioned that decision. Unfortunately, I thought, why?
Well, if we talked about options a minute ago, didn't we? We spoke about who do we have. I don't know the severity of Partey's injury.
He seems to be fine.
Well, I don't know. The club are being very quiet on it, I think. They said he went for an MRI, supposed rib injury. That's a confirmed deal. If you want to make the note of that one, Fabrizio there for Fulham. That's their first signing. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
I can actually, I'll bring this up as well. They're about to finalise the signing of Cedric Suarez. I just literally caught the top bit of the tweet there. That was from Fabrizio. We'll come back to that in just a sec. But so we don't know the extent of the injury. So Sambi came on, of course. I thought he looked very lost. I thought he looked a little bit uncomfortable against Oxford when we played them in the third round. Quite honestly, but do you know what? It feels like he's a guy that he's a young player who needs a little bit of game time. He needs a little bit of encouragement, I feel. And do you know what? To get a little bit of encouragement and from someone who knows Arsenal very well, you know, he's going to go over to Paddy. He's going to see Vieira. So
Yeah.
I think that could work. I might have to just leave you for 2 seconds because my daughter needs me. Okay, so just give me a second.
Okay.
I will be right. You just I have to tell you what. Talk your thoughts on Cedric Suarez going to Fulham. I'll be right back with you.
Okay. So Cedric Suarez, as Lee just mentioned, this is news to me, really. Cedric Suarez I think it's just signed. It might be confirmed, or it might be in here we go territory. But Cedric Suarez is going to be a Fulham player. Now Cedric Suarez at Arsenal. now that it's now solely my opinion at the moment. Cedric, he's back.
Better than ever.
Here we go.
Hello.
So Cedric Suarez. I was about to say what I thought of him at Arsenal, and it wasn't really going to be full of praise. I'll say that way.
Yeah, I thought you might. You carry on if you haven't finished. I'll go in a minute.
Well, I mean, Cedric, I think when Tomiyasu got injured in last season, and we had Cedric to fill in that particular space, I thought he was one of the weaker links in the team. What did you make of him?
I won't call him a weak link. I'll call him, like I said,
average right back.
A little bit more than average, to be fair. But he's, he was an experienced player. Had Premier League experience at Southampton. He came in and done a job, basically filled in as a squad player. You know what? Yeah, it might not have necessarily worked very well for him, but do you know what? It's for Fulham going for him. You know, it makes sense to me. Another Premier League player. They've had a great season so far, and you know that sounds like a decent move for Cedric. I've got a lot of time for him actually, and I've got a lot of time. I don't know how much you know about this. I caught a little bit of a documentary on Sky after one of the broadcast games, and he was talking about his experience always dreaming of playing for Arsenal. When that opportunity came, he was so excited for it, and then he's even when he's not getting game time, he's there pictured with Xhaka and Holding and El Neni doing their old coaching badges and stuff. So good luck to him. I've got no.
I hope he does well.
Words.
I'm not one of those people saying, "God, I hope he fails." No, absolutely not.
God damn it!
God damn it! He is a lethal dose of poison. No, I hope he does well at Fulham. I think he needs that. He needs to get his form back on track, as does Lokonga. So I wish them well. I've just seen this there. Do you remember Jose Perez for Newcastle?
I literally just wrote his name down. I've just written his name down. I got that. So Perez is just leaving Leicester now, isn't he? He's going to Sporting?
Real Betis.
Going up for a bit of hot weather in Spain. Very nice too.
There we go. And the rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane, as they say.
Yeah. I think we should probably go on to talking about another Arsenal player that left the club today. Marquinhos.
Oh yes, Marquinhos. He's on loan, isn't he? Yeah.
He's gone for the loan for the rest of the season. To Norwich.
Yes.
Anywhere but Norwich.
Don't understand Matt Roberts' his beef with the city of East Anglia, but I have no idea.
I enjoyed
it. It's good content, I presume. Marquinhos again, he is another player that I think needs some game time. He's had a few minutes. Most memorable was scoring a goal against, was it Zurich in the Europa League? And it was quite a decent goal as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think, wasn't that on the day they announced the Queen had passed away, I think, if I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, memorable day that.
Yeah.
But like you say, Yeah, it's what you would have wanted, quite. But it's one of them
Marquinhos
that
to get off the mark.
exactly.
But yeah,
It's her last wish. But look, in all seriousness, no, he's not had any game time. Only, as I mentioned yesterday on the stream, in what I term as the ropey league. But look, bit of time in the championship, which is a tough and really competitive league.
yeah.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on there on Carrow Road. They're in the fight for the title, I understand. So, and
They're in the playoff area, I think. Yeah.
The championship, mate. Anything can happen in like a couple of, but 2-3 wins on the bounce, and you're top of the table. That's the championship is. So look, he's a great signing for them. I think, for someone who's got a lot of potential. Sounding like Arsene Wenger, aren't I? It's got a lot of potential overall.
Apparently he's on a deal, but I didn't see it.
I did not see it, no. But we haven't seen the potential really.
We haven't seen Marquinhos play that much, but I hope he gets the game time and he comes back. He comes back with a bit more experience.
And maybe a promotion medal as well. Who knows, eh?
Oh yes, he'll have experience in achieving success, and that's always good. And hopefully, when he comes back, we would have achieved success in winning the league. Hopefully,
oh, nicely done, sir. There is another player. I wouldn't expect you to know this name, and I only I know this a little bit because I've done a bit of deep digging. Omar Rekic, who's a central defender.
Familiar.
Yeah,
name.
Good. He's gone out on loan to Wigan, who, of course, up until about a week ago were managed by Colo Torre. But I'm afraid he's gone now. But
he only got the job quite recently as well.
2 months into the job.
Oh my word!
So
sounds like me when I
football manager.
He's the Liz Truss of football management. But yeah, I think poor old Polo. Omar Rekic. Yeah, it's a familiar name. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, a really young player. Up to a few hours ago, I wouldn't know too much about, quite honestly. But I thought I'd mention it as he's an Arsenal outgoing today.
Yeah.
There's plenty other transfers to talk about during the stream today. But before we go into that, mate.
I will say that I'm doing my research. I'm on his Wikipedia page. His brother is Karim Rekic, who I believe was a Man City youth player, if my memory serves right. Okay, I think
that's possibly why the name kind of rung a bell with me.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, okay. That might be me talking a load of nonsense, but I think I was right. He's a Man City youth player, Karim Rekic, but I don't know.
To be fair, we like talking a lot of nonsense on this channel anyway.
Well, I mean, you've always said. I thought you always said that we are extremely professional and
broadcast journalists. You mean, much like Bobby Heenan? Yeah,
of course. And I'm like Gorilla Monsoon, which is why if we and I'm trying to think of like if we sign a player like Chiellini or something, I'll say, look at this youngster signing for us.
Yeah, I get you. I get the reference.
Oh,
PSG and discussing with Chelsea about the player Ziyech. I think his name is
Ziyech, the Moroccan.
Yeah. It's another one who's not really had much time at Chelsea on the field.
Yeah,
but then Chelsea just buy everybody and just let them just sit around and take their wages.
Yeah,
it's a funny old one.
With Ziyech, again, as you said, he's not had much game time for Chelsea, but during the World Cup with Morocco, he was brilliant there.
Yeah, he was.
I think he needs the game time at PSG. He plays with Messi and Mbappe. I think he can. I think he'd be a decent signing for them. Although I think he might be one of those players who doesn't play that well at club level, but internationally they're brilliant. There are some players that are vice versa as well. I think. Do you think he's one of those players?
A bit like the Darius Vassell.
Oh, that is a very deep cut. Yes.
Absolutely. his England record was fantastic, but for Villa it wasn't brilliant. But yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, you get some that for some reason the international football just suits them better for whatever reason, for reasons I can't explain. But yeah, he's again a youngish player, I think. So he's gonna do well, I'm sure.
You say youngish.
Compared
I
to me,
think yeah.
fair.
But to me, he's 29.
29. Oh,
29.
okay, a
Okay,
little bit older than I
so
thought then.
he's in the prime of his career, I'd say.
Well, yeah, he should be.
at that stage, yeah. But
Well then, so this is the time for him to prove himself then, and get some regular game time and see what he can do there.
Absolutely, and it'll be an interesting signing. Speaking of Moroccan players, according to Fabrizio, Barcelona will not sign Sofiane Amrabat, who I thought was Morocco's best player during the World Cup. He was linked with Liverpool, wasn't he?
Okay. Yeah.
In the January window, and I've got a friend who supports Liverpool saying they should go for him because he's a good player.
Energetic, very lively player. It sounds like a good fit, doesn't it? But,
yes, although we've not heard from if he's going to be going to a club at all or a Premier League club, but Barcelona will not sign him, according to Fabrizio. Fiorentina will never accept option to buy clause. Barcelona can't proceed with obligation or permanent deal, so that transfer is not happening. But Amrabat is a decent player. I think whoever gets him, I think is a good midfielder to have. I think.
Yeah. I'll definitely go to that. Is that because Barcelona are having issues with the money again?
Yeah, I think they've still got a few financial issues. Happening. That
doesn't surprise me in the least, frankly. They just splash it everywhere and anywhere, and it's just the fact that they managed to give the deal to Aubameyang this time last year still puzzles me.
For free.
For free, well, for free on our side, but there's I suppose as I was looking back at the video earlier on, as Stephen was saying, if you basically saving us about £25 million on his wage bill, and for a guy that hadn't played 10 games prior to that day, it was see you later, good riddance kind of thing.
And he went on to have a very successful career at Chelsea. It's nothing personal.
I think you've just clipped yourself there, mate. I'll do the side by side thing there.
Oh boy, yes, that's a good TikTok video for you to do. Then
I'm on it. It's my homework.
Let's we so obviously we're an Arsenal channel, but I think we're going to have to talk about that the side of London.
Yeah,
Matt Doherty has signed the contract to complete a loan deal to Atletico Madrid from Tottenham. Lots of loan deals coming in. I was just taken aback by this one.
Shocking.
Matt Doherty.
He played against us the other week.
Yeah, and it's quite rare nowadays to have an English player play on foreign soil.
He's Irish.
Oh, he's Irish. Okay.
Republic of Ireland International.
I didn't know that actually. I didn't.
It's all right.
All right.
That's why I'm
Hang
here.
on. So it's quite interesting to have an Irish player play on foreign. I almost said British player, but that was going to get me even more heat, I think. But yeah, a player who speaks in the English tongue, being playing in countries like Spain, Germany, etc. I think the last one I can remember was Kieran Trippier, who actually went from Tottenham to Atletico Madrid, albeit on a permanent basis.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. And apparently Sam will be with us at about 8, so that's cool. So about half an hour away. Ladies and gentlemen, the highlight of the night with Sam Wilson joining us at 8 o'clock. Can you deal with Matt Roberts on the chat, please?
I most certainly can.
The link should be in our WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Doc, you're quite right in what you're saying about Trippier as well. He look at how his career absolutely flourished, didn't it? Over at Atletico, and then look, he only went to improve his game and turn into a regular England international. As Fulham have signed Cesar Lukic from Torino. Breaking news from Sky.
Okay. So that's
I don't know if that's related to John Lukic, who we talked about in the goalkeeper tier list.
Talked about in a tier list video of Arsenal goalkeepers. You can check that out on youtube.com/Gooner Gathering. It was a very fun list.
It was a good one, wasn't it? I enjoyed that.
And I may have thought of another one we could do in due course, and that's Mikel Arteta's signings since he took over.
Yeah,
Might have to wait for a few weeks for Trossard and Jorginho to get a bit of game time. If we sign Jorginho, that is, because it's not been confirmed on our social media.
Yeah,
but I think it's all but confirmed.
I think we're literally just waiting for the club to do a publicity video or something, because he's already been pictured in the shirt with his agent. If we hadn't brought that up already on Instagram, So I think that one's a done one. So, but yeah, we just spoke about Doherty going to Atletico.
Yep.
Isn't there another Spurs defender over there at Atletico at the moment? I'm not sure. Possibly on loan.
Yes. Again,
is Simeone still over there as well?
He is, but I think he's leaving at the end of the season.
Right. Because I think Simeone was probably the coach with Trippier as well. So,
yes, he's been there for quite a while. I think he's been there for about like over 10 years, I think. So he's been the coach there for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm having a look at their squad to see. Yes, Reguilon, on loan from Tottenham. It says so. Yeah.
Fair enough. So I mean, at least he'll know someone up there as well. But it's again a decent move for him, perhaps. It's a weird one with Tottenham, because they've got rid of 2 right wing backs today. Because what's his name? Spence. What's his first name? What's his name? I can't remember. If I can pronounce it. But it's gone to Ren, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
That's an on loan one. Like you say, an awful lot of loans. But then again, that's almost the norm in this window, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had quite a lot
easier
loan. Especially in today's market, where an average player costs about £200 billion nowadays.
Yeah, in it. Yeah. But as you're carrying on, I suppose the biggest move of the window, probably the most unexpected one, was Cancelo leaving Man City to go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That I think Cancelo. Oh, we've got a run in. We've got
indeed
someone. Yep.
It's Matt Roberts.
Cameras not on, but
hi guys. Really
hello.
sorry I can't be on camera at the moment. I am technically still working.
Okay, mate. No bother. No worry. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
How's your day been? You all right?
Yeah,
all good.
Bad. It's just a bit quiet at the moment, so I hope you can hear me okay.
Loud and clear, mate.
We
Loud
can.
And clear.
Okay, that's brilliant.
So I suppose the best place I think we can start with you, Matt, is tell us what happened with Norwich.
I knew this was going to come back to bite me. So I'm not a fan of yo-yo clubs to begin with. So unfortunately, with yo-yo clubs is they come up and down and they can never settle. And basically, Marquinhos has ended up at Yo-Yo Club in Norwich City. I knew you were going to ask me this.
Yeah, obviously.
It was a good idea, but for me, there's so many great teams in the Championship that I look at and go, you know what? They could have gone anywhere, but for me, Norwich, I don't feel like it. I can understand why, but at the same time, just you don't want to go to a yo-yo club. I'd rather go to somewhere like. If I was in his shoes, I'd probably be going to somewhere like a Middlesbrough, or somewhere along that quality where you're in like a playoff spot. So or at the very least, do what Smith Rowe did: go to a Huddersfield, who are currently still in the relegation battle, and sort of own it a little bit more, because the pressure isn't really on you as much as it would be, say, if you were in a relegation dogfight. Say if he'd gone to Everton, he wouldn't have gone to Everton because of the game time needed. But it was just one of those problems that I have. But it's a personal opinion. But to be honest, it made you and Fran laugh, which was quite funny, and it was quite entertaining show yesterday. I have to give you that.
I loved it. I had such a great time. As did
Evening,
Niall
Niall.
Payne, who's just joined us in the chat. So welcome
Good
in,
evening.
Niall. Good evening. Yeah. I just you mentioned Middlesbrough. My first thought was, yeah, that's a bit of a yo-yo club as well, isn't it? but
not as much as Norwich. Not as much.
Yeah,
as Norwich.
that's the point. It's like you don't see Norwich 1 minute in the Premier League, next minute they're in the Championship, and then again in the Premier League. Whereas Middlesbrough, they're more sustainable. Like they might eventually get back into the Premier League.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'd be more of the long term. I still sort of ache for the times when we used to have Middlesbrough, Newcastle, and Sunderland all in the Premier League, because they were really interesting games. But at the moment, it's just we kind of sort of have a settled Premier League, almost 15, and then you've got an alternative 8 that are just there. Oh.
It's all right. I'm just talking to my daughter, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, no, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm on daddy duty today, Matt.
Okay.
Matt, what do you make of? I was talking to Lee about these. We were talking about the deals that we're potentially doing. What do you make of the Jorginho signing?
I'm a bit underwhelmed, if I'm honest. If I was to look at it, I was
saying
thinking,
I'm very 50-50 on it. It's almost I don't know how to react to it.
Yeah, and you kind of think of the things that he's done as well. He is very reckless. There's a couple of times where, funny enough, he should have been sent off against Arsenal, and he's ended up scoring the winner, or he scored a goal. And when in fact, actually, if you think about, was it Arteta's first game against Chelsea where he should have been sent off and for a second yellow, and he ended up scoring?
I had a good memory. Yeah, I think you're right.
It's just one of those, but I can sort of see it as like a short-term option. Whether or not he stays is another thing. I can understand why. I believe he was like one of the captains at Chelsea. He is a decent enough that he knows how to win things with his time at Chelsea, even though he's gotten onto a couple of a couple of cup finals and not won them, especially in the FA Cup. If I'm right, he's also one of the first Italians to play for the club in a while.
There's not been many.
For Arsenal,
Lupoli was in the academy. So
who was in the academy? Say,
Lupoli.
Yeah.
He used to play up front. I don't know where he ended up.
Vito Manoni. There's another one.
Oh
no! Oh yeah, Vito Manoni. Yeah, the goalkeeper as well. The other goalkeeper as well that we had on loan from Italy.
Can I just say about Manoni? So you might be wondering why I didn't put him in the goalkeeper tier list. I don't think he played enough games for us.
He only played like 3 games.
It was only like really 3. Yeah. So
I remember him.
As do I. So
do you know why I do remember it? Because he went over to Sunderland, and my ex-boss from the big supermarket that I might happen to work at was a Sunderland fan. So I might have ribbed him a bit on that one. but yeah. So next point of business. Where should we go from here?
I was gonna also say to ask Matt what he made of Lokonga.
I quite like Lokonga. The problem is obviously there's been people in front of him. I've not been a huge fan of El Neni for a long time, and if I'm honest, and I was expecting originally when El Neni had his contract up, I would have thought he would have gone. He ended up signing an extension, and now it looks like he's out for the rest of the season, which means that he's going to be finding himself in another club. I was hoping that Lokonga, when he came in, he looked really good, but he just started to fade because he wasn't getting the minutes, and it's taken a while, but I think this is the right call. I haven't seen the All or Nothing documentary, so I don't know what he's like behind the scenes, but if he's having attitude problems or if he's not getting enough game time, I can understand the frustration because he is quite young. He was captain at Anderlecht, and there was plenty of options. I thought there would have been a couple of people that would have been in for him, and Crystal Palace is a good club to go to at the moment because they need midfielders, but they also need someone to at least give them the chance to create and things like that. So it would be interesting to see how he does, but I'm hoping that it will kickstart his career a little bit as well. It just might mean that whether or not he does finish at Arsenal or he'll be a loan and that's it. But I'm hoping that he comes back and stays for us for another season because it seems a bit harsh to spend 15 million on a bright young central midfielder and not play him as much, and now he's just sort of dawdling in the cup games and things like that. So it just makes sense for that to be his next step, but he needs to be able to develop a little bit more. So I wouldn't be shocked if we did see him move on, but I wouldn't want him to move on. I'd want him to try and prove himself and actually break into that squad next season.
Yeah, fair enough. Matt, I think while we've got you on air, I think it's probably a good idea to ask you a little bit more on Alicia Russo. So the news, obviously, for people who are watching, people who are new into a stream, obviously came out that there was a record bid put in by Arsenal last night for Russo of Manchester United. It appears that obviously the deadline for the WSL was 5 p.m. And a few hours ago, they're saying that the deal, the negotiations were done. They're not gonna do the deal. What are your thoughts on this one?
This one actually kind of annoys me because, funny enough, someone that I do go to the games with, she was talking about this as well. Is that why not put in a bid for Russo? For me, Russo is everything that you want in a striker. She's tall, but she's also really good with her feet compared to Stina Blackstenius. Stina hasn't actually scored any goals with her head, considering how tall she is. She's about 5'11". So just to put that into perspective, that's one of the tallest strikers in the league. But she prefers everything to feet. Whereas Alessia Russo, the goal against Sweden in the semi-finals, the European Championships, the back heel, it's a great goal. If you haven't seen it, do look it up because it just shows how good she was technically. But she also has that threat in the air where she has scored from her headers and things like that against Arsenal in the past. One of the reasons why I did mention she is the bane of Arsenal is that it's usually the League Cup last season. She scored the only goal of the game. It was a header. The winner against us in the league at the Emirates was a header, which she scored. So she's the perfect striker for Arsenal because she wouldn't just get the game time. She'll be able to improve her game. And for me, she's a better option than Stina Blackstenius at the moment. It seems like Stina only works when the best players are available. So a Beth Mead and a Vivian Miedema, unfortunately, they're both out with an ACL injury. So she seems to be low on confidence. And even against Leeds, she wasn't able to score the goals. The people that scored the goals seemed to be all the new girls. You had, I'm trying to remember, you had Caitlin Ford scoring the goals. You had also Kim Little as well stepping up. And this is the problem I have with Arsenal at the moment, is they've got a title challenge on on the rise. They are in need of a striker. Obviously, the 5 p.m. WSL deadline has now finished and it's not been done. But actually, the second big bid was just over 500,000, which would have been the record, which would have beaten what Kira Walsh went for, and especially Beth England, as well as Tottenham. So it will show that if she doesn't go now, she's going to be very well much the interest of everyone, whether or not she re-signs with United or not. But I have a feeling that I think she knows that if she does go to United, they're going to want to try and qualify for the Champions League. They've got no real pedigree in terms of their coefficient rankings. They've never been in the Champions League before. So they'll basically have all the heart. They could essentially end up being like Man City, where they end up facing like a Real Madrid and getting knocked out by Real Madrid in the qualifiers before they even get to the group stages. So if that was on my mind a little bit, I think she would quite fancy. She'll have loads of people after her: the Barcelonas, the Lyons, the even the Real Madrids of the Europe will all be after her. Apparently, even Chelsea were after her, but they didn't put a bid in. A bit surprising, but if I look at on piece of paper, where is she going to get game time from, and who would she be the most valuable to? And that would be Arsenal. And my stance on that would never change. It does now look that Arsenal are attempting to try and buy Signa Brun, a player that I don't really rate. The last time she was in the WSL, she played for Manchester United. Shock there. She scored 0 goals in 8 appearances for Manchester United. So it just shows she's not really maybe there in terms of being able to deal with the WSL, and it's going to be difficult now because the international deadline is at 12 o'clock, which is
just going to bring that up.
Obviously with Chloe Lacasse, that was meant to happen. Unfortunately, Benfica turned around and said no. So
sounds like a familiar theme today, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like, to be honest, I would actually try and see if we can take someone on loan at the moment. It's just a case of who and if they would be willing. It's difficult to say, but I wouldn't rule anything else out, if I'm honest.
Yeah, indeed. Just obviously, to clarify, the deadline for the WSL, it's the domestic deadline was 5 o'clock. Yeah. But as Matt said, the international one is extended, like he said. Quite often you get quite a lot of Scandinavian players and things like that. Players that are kind of out of contract to run the things run. So it seems very quiet in the WSL, apart from Natasha Dowie going back to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. I think someone joked that Matt Beard is basically making the gang that won the WSL for Liverpool. They're all joining back together. So he had quite a lot of the those players. So Jill Flaherty, when she was there, she obviously retired. She okay?
Amy's fine. Amy's giggling away on her iPad right now. So,
okay.
So she's all good. If she comes over on the microphone, there's not a lot I can do about that.
No, it's fine. It's nice to hear people laughing and things like that, because kind of need it at the moment with all the stress of the deadline day.
Absolutely. So you said that maybe with the Arsenal ladies, just going back to us for a bit. You know, have you got someone in mind that they might take on loan, or just have to see what happens on that one?
It's difficult to say, because if you look internationally, I really like Sophia Smith, who scored the goal for the US when they played England in the friendly earlier on. But the speculation is now, even though she was interested in coming to do the Champions League, the US team have turned around and said that if you do go outside their league, you won't be picked for the national team. So if that's the case, that kind of leaves it with people that aren't attached or anything like that. I did have a quick check to see if there was any players sort of available.
Right.
One that came up was, oddly enough, and she's quite local to the parts where I live, Jodie Taylor, but her
name is familiar. Yeah,
she used to play for England and Arsenal. She's been everywhere, but yeah, she's quite local to where I live at the moment. And I think, to be fair, if she was to come back and do 6 months at Arsenal, I wouldn't be against it, if I'm honest. But I think, from what I know, she's just extended her contract with Casey Curran. I think it is Casey. It's a really odd one, but it's difficult to say who's definitely coming in. The only other option would be having someone like Michelle Agaman, who was playing out wide, trying to retrain her up as a striker or something like that. But we do have options as well. Gio can also play up top, as well as Caitlin Ford. But it's just down to whether or not the team can carry on, because if Stina's not scoring the goals, it's basically the rest of the team are picking her up.
Yeah.
And I would feel a lot better if we got a striker in, but the more that timer ticks down towards midnight, it's looking less and less unlikely. And if I was honest, I would probably, if I was Jonas tomorrow morning, I'd be turning around to Stina and saying, look, if we don't have a new striker in, I need you to pick yourself up. I can't afford you to have these any more chances that they need to be put into the back of the net. You can't afford to go on. I can't remember how many games she's not scored in now, but the last time she scored was a brace against it's Zurich, I think it was. So it would be December. So it's coming up nearly 2 months without a goal, which is unheard of, really, for a striker. Usually, and the other thing is as well is that if she's not scoring goals, you usually would drop her, but he's got no one to drop her for, which is a problem at the moment.
Indeed.
It's a big cause for concern.
Can I just... Luca's in the chat. Hello, Luca. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Luca. Welcome in, mate.
Can I say, Matt, who was it you said lives quite local to you?
Jodie Taylor. So originally she's around... She lived in the local area for a long time before she made a huge career. She's played for quite a lot of successful clubs, including Arsenal. She used to play for England. There's a nice mural actually outside of Prenton Park of her, although she says it's not a nice mural. But I'd beg to differ, but I suppose it depends on the likeness of it. But she's a nice person.
Okay, because Alessia Russo lives about half an hour away from, well, used to anyway, from Maidstone. Now I know that as an Ebbsfleet fan, you might think that I might not like that, but she was part of the team that brought football home, so I will let it slide.
Absolutely right.
Russo's a Kent lass, a Kent gal.
Fantastic.
Very good to see.
That's the other thing as well.
Yeah.
Is that you'd want to be closer to your family. I don't imagine that she would want to be stuck in Manchester for much longer. Sorry, Barry, go on.
No, I was. I thought you were finished with this subject, because I was going to say there have been a few deals coming in.
Do you want to cover what's coming on the chat? Because we've got a comment there from Mr. Queso.
Mr. Queso, yeah.
Saying Nottingham Forest and PSG have got full verbal agreement with Kayla Navas, goalkeeper.
Yes.
This is a deal that looked dead a couple of hours ago, but they've resurrected it. So that would mean they've got a couple of unknown goalkeepers, which is a bit strange, but there you are.
Keylor Navas. I mean, I know that he's
Real Madrid legend.
I think the about the 300th player that Forest have signed this entire season. But that is
in the squad of 23 or 25.
That's quite a coup for them, because Navas played he's played in a number of Champions League finals, and
3, I think.
international goalkeeper as well. Played for PSG as well. It's definitely quite a big signing for them.
In terms of experience in the game as well, it's a fantastic
Yeah.
signing for them. Would you question where Dean Henderson will go from there?
Yes, he's going to probably struggle to get game time.
On
Quite
loan from
similar
Manchester
to
United, of course.
Oh yes, and
Wouldn't you also
United aren't too short of goalkeepers, aren't they?
Exactly.
Would you also say though that it's also a good option to be pushing Dean Henderson, because although he is quite young, he is able to make mistakes, whereas if you have someone who I believe he's 34, 36, somewhere around there. So if you were to have someone like him, he would be able to get some experience, but he would never be, from what I remember, I don't think he's ever been in the relegation battle, and he's also come into a new league. So it's pros and cons, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And so when you want some experience around, I guess, especially when you're in a fight like Forest are. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting one. They've been busy today for us, haven't they? I understand John Joe Shelby as well is going over there.
Wow.
Do you know
John
that one?
Joe Shelby. I remember him very well. Yes.
It's a very odd signing, to be honest.
He's been missing all season. He's been injured, but somehow he's passed the medical.
Well, he's been busy with trying to fend off Harry Potter, hasn't he? Or is that somebody else I'm thinking of? I don't know. But yes, there you go. Old but gold. John Joe Shelby, yes. Yeah, that's a very strange signing. I've not heard much from him recently.
No.
But yeah. According to Fabrizio Romano, he's here we go, the Cedric Suarez deal to Fulham.
Yeah.
So
kind of expected that one. You got anything to add on Cedric, Matt?
I really did like Cedric, and I watched him many years down at Southampton when I was at uni.
He was good then.
He was a really good player, and he deserved an opportunity, a chance. We took it. Okay, it was up and downs, but unfortunately it happens. And I don't think this has changed my opinion of him. I think he was a good player, but unfortunately we just needed an upgrade, and eventually we got that upgrade in Tomiyasu and I've forgotten their names. The other one, Ben White, Tavares.
Yeah,
it was just too many.
Tavares as an upgrade is generous.
Well, he's still got time as well.
Yeah, he was in that position. He was in that position.
Yeah,
and he's doing well over in France. It should be added.
Yeah, and it's just one of those ones where I understand that people who watch him week in, week out kind of get annoyed because he does certain things, but again, it comes back to the similar things I said about Lukonga, where he's not getting game time. He's not fully ready.
My little giggler in the background, guys.
It's because she heard about Tavares being an upgrade.
No, she just had a look at Tottenham in the league table.
Now that is something to laugh about. But I tell you what is not someone to laugh about, someone we should take very seriously. It's Mr. Sam Wilson, who has been added to the stream. Hello.
Hey, you all right?
How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you all?
Very, very well. Even better for seeing you, sir.
Oh, bless you. It's a good segue in, actually.
I might actually have to go because I've got to start cleaning up the room as well. So let's.
Thank you for joining us, Matt.
Over. No worries. Thanks for having me. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. All the best. I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Cheers.
Thank you. And then there were 3.
There we go. Out with
the
old, in with the new, as they say.
Yeah, this is going to be very much in and out kind of stream because it's obviously we're all very busy. I'm a daddy on duty as well tonight, Sam. So yeah, we'll keep this going as long as we can. I do understand Fran might be able to join us after band practice as well at some stage. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one.
So Sam, Jorginho, what do you make of this signing then?
I know where this is going.
No.
I'm trying to look at it in the way that I should. In that, if Arteta believes it, I should believe it.
I'm mixed about it. I'm quite mixed about it as well. I understand both sides of the argument. I'll say it like that.
I don't know. I'm torn on it. I've got the most of me goes, I'm not that happy.
Sound like you, Sam?
Yeah, but the other half of me says, if Arteta believes it, then I've kind of got to believe it. Again, I really, really hope I'm proved wrong. But yeah, I suppose we can't go too over the top as well. It's not like if everyone's fit, he's going to get into the team anyway. It's literally only panic stations that he needs to go in, and maybe
he's more of a sporadic player, isn't he? Sporadic first team player.
Absolutely, someone with a bit of experience as well, which is something that Arsenal don't really have around. So I'm kind of thinking, we're in, top of the table, 5 points clear. When things getting a little bit tense and a little bit stressful with the last sort of bit of the season, if we're trying to get over the line, do you know what? This might be a bit of business that we'll look back on and think, wow, look at this.
I hope so.
There's one thing you can't debate is that he's won things. So he comes in with that mentality of Zinchenko and Jesus. So for a lot of these players, they haven't won anything. And if it is, it's very small. So I suppose that's something he does bring. So in that, even if he doesn't get to play, I suppose it's okay for the changing room as long as he doesn't come in with this massive. My only worry is he comes in with this massive ego and kind of thinks he can step over everyone. That was my only worry as soon as I heard about it.
I'll try to just crack down on those kind of players, I think. So I hope that we don't get that. Hello, Amy.
Little musical interlude here, guys. I think. Sorry to buzz in. Arsenal have confirmed it.
Oh, okay.
All right, there we go.
There you go. It's just come through on the Sky. They're just going to the Emirates there. I think Arsenal have just announced it. So there we go. Jorginho,
nothing's on their Instagram. I'll have a look at their Twitter.
It's come on actually on Sky Sports
on television.
Oh,
there
okay.
It is. So 12 million.
And it's on their Twitter.
There we go.
On their Twitter.
Thank you very much. There we go. So look, that'll be 3 signings for this window. So probably good question to ask you, Sam, as you're with us. So what do you make of the window as a whole for Arsenal?
In all honesty, I think it could have been a lot better. I think it's okay, but I think it could have been a lot better knowing the circumstances that we're in currently. Trossard's going to be a really good one. I don't think we're going to see the centre-back. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but I don't think we're going to see the centre-back unless something really drastic happens because we've got so many options at the back.
I can pronounce it. It's Kivia.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Fran told me this one yesterday.
Yeah, so I think it could have been, knowing the situation that we're in, it could have been a lot better. Just to kind of strengthen what we already have, really. But I suppose it's better than nothing. That could have been the flip side. And like so many transfer windows we've seen, it could have been nothing. So thankfully there's something. I just think we could have done more.
I think with the Kivior one, it's at the opposite scale from Jorginho, in that it's a younger guy on the other end of the scale in his career, and you don't get many left-footed centre halves around. It's going to be cover for Gabriel. I mean, let's discuss Rob Holding briefly if you'd like, because we saw Holding against Holland on Friday, and he had a bit of a tough time, I would suggest, and maybe as a longer term sort of player, this is probably where Kivia is going to end up in the Arsenal squad in terms of the places in the squad. So maybe that as a long term replacement there.
Mm-hmm. How are you both feeling about it?
About Jorginho.
No, the transfer window as a whole.
Oh, sorry. Again, I was too busy. I was too busy looking at a tweet about it. I think it's been okay. I think obviously I was a bit annoyed at the fact that we didn't get Mudryk, but I think Trossard for £25 million, which in today's market is rather depressingly quite cheap. I think that's a good deal, and I think that's the better signing that we've made this in this window. I think he'll definitely come good, as we've seen against Man City. I just saw a tweet saying Jorginho on Mikel Arteta, and that he said he was a big influence because he tried to get him before a few times, but it didn't happen because of other reasons. So he's had a big influence on him.
He was the Man City assistant when they tried to buy him, and then of course I believe he might have even had a medical up there, but then all of a sudden it went to the other way when he went to the bridge, didn't he? So yeah. So an interesting one, I think, with Jorginho. They're £12 million as well, apparently. Yes, I know the guy's a little bit older, but in terms of this day and age's money, it's a good transfer fee. So yeah, just sort of keeping an eye on stuff that's breaking here. So yeah, I think it's not bad. I think I'll go about 6.5 out of 10, perhaps, as the window. Yeah, I think we'd always want something else. I think we'd want another attacking option, frankly, especially with Marquinhos going. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull anything out of the bag now as time starts to rattle on. But
also, just an update away from deadline day, in case anyone wants to know, Sean Longstaff has just scored for Newcastle in the Capital One Cup semi-final, Carabao Cup semi-final.
I've got it in the background, so I should have told you that. But
no, you got to focus on the channel. You're behaving
professional,
yourself, unlike me.
What's that on aggregate now? Is that 2-0?
I think it's gonna. I think that's it. I think that's a lot. Even though it's early, yes, 5 minutes, but it's a long way back now.
Yeah, it's difficult,
especially with the fans. The fans are amazing anyway, but they're going to be unbelievable now they're winning.
Can you imagine that? This is a great chance for Newcastle to pick up something. The first time,
especially how they're doing in the league as well.
Other than like championship trophies from yesteryear, this is a Newcastle which is in a different era. As my esteemed broadcast colleague said, reminding him very much of Leicester of a championship winning side. This is a really good side, so definitely watch them.
Although I think a different team is going to win the league this season. But what team? We don't know.
I don't know, Jeff.
I don't know, Jeff. I have an idea in mind, and I hope it comes true. Edu has said on Jorginho, he is an established professional with a strong mentality who brings quality and experience. He's a player who fits our style of play, and he joins us at a very good moment where he can contribute in a key position to help maintain our momentum. So that's Edu's statement on Jorginho there.
And I'd also like to quote Miss Melina from who's in the chat right now, who said on her Twitter page last night, "Oh, at least he's good looking."
Sounds like Fran. You know?
Oh, absolutely. But I just thought I'd throw that out there for fun.
I saw something quite interesting earlier. Well, it was like an hour or so ago. But Man United were actually offered 4 players today. They were offered Isco, obviously, but he's really, really old.
Yeah.
Been out without a club since December, I think.
But the interesting ones are Saul, the centre midfielder from Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Carrasco again from Atletico Madrid, I think, still. And then Aouar.
Is that a pirate?
No, it's a Wiltshire man.
Fair enough. Or
Oliver.
Yeah, that's three that we could have
Our,
gone.
yeah. Our
Well,
was someone who we were linked with.
yeah.
Again, that's three players though. That if they've been offered to Man United today,
Yeah, you wonder, don't you? I mean, all came about, of course, with Eriksen's injury. Agents playing a part in that, I would have thought, and they tend to sort of put calls out, as Damesh was saying on Sky a little bit ago. I suppose it's I don't know.
it just makes me wonder whether we could have gone in for any of them just for a loan deal. That's what makes me wonder. Because that's
Who
an issue.
knows? It might still happen, Sam.
I hope so,
You
but
know
that's
me.
Saul would be quite interesting.
That's initially what I wanted, just to have someone on a loan deal to bridge the gap until the end of the season.
What's Kim Colstrom doing?
He's probably injured, I think.
I'll tell you what, all jokes aside, if he didn't get injured, I saw him play in the first game that he played for us, and he scored a hell of a goal. If he didn't get injured, I think he'd have done really, really well.
Absolutely, he was a class midfielder back in the day, but he hit a decent penalty kick that one day. So
yeah, I think you said it was the best kick of his Arsenal career, Lee. It was the only kick. It was the only kick of his Arsenal career, as far as I remember.
That one game that he played, all joking aside, he was actually unbelievable. But again, we've seen many of them.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Can I sort of get you up to date with a couple of former Arsenal players?
Yes.
So Hector Bellerin has just left Barca. I think it's over to Sporting.
He's not coming back,
Betis.
is he?
Sorry, it was a Betis. He's gone to Sporting at Lisbon. Were you not a fan of Hector?
No, I think he spent a lot more time focusing on his hair than his football. I was not a fan of him. I think he was no.
No, senor.
Here's a fun joke. I actually went to the barbers. He had a hairstyle that I really liked. I actually went to the barbers with a picture of him. I was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "Don't matter who it is, just cut my hair like it."
Fair enough.
But they made you look like Fabio Vieira instead.
They did. I mean, who's to say you're not just putting on an accent? And this is Fabio Vieira.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
And it's not alone. I have just been confirmed by Romaro that's a permanent deal for Hector Bellerin. And he's brought his stylist with him.
Well, there we go.
Breaking news here on Gooner Gathering.
Well, okay. I mean, again, you know, I hope he does well. I hope he does well at Betis.
I think his Arsenal career is somewhat tarnished by the fact he picked up quite a serious injury, and then he never quite got the pace and the recovery back in his tackle. But he started with a blast. And
he started very well. It was him and Coquelin, I remember, coming into the team in 2015, and they really did impress, and it's just I think but I think as the years went by, Bellerin's kind of just didn't. It just gradually kind of went a bit, didn't go as well as we wanted it to.
Yeah. And another one that has made a loan move out, you might remember the name of Amari Hutchinson, who was an Arsenal Youth Academy player, who is not
by Chelsea.
Yeah, got bought by Chelsea in terms of trying to look for first team action. How's that gone for him? I don't think he's had a minute. I don't believe. He's gone out to West Bromwich Albion for the rest of the season. So, look, again, we mentioned earlier on with Marquinhos, look, Championship's a great place to go and play football and see what it's all about. Such a competitive league to play in. So, yeah, be interesting to keep an eye on. If you can get first team football, that's certainly an upgrade on playing under 23 football for Chelsea. So, and hopefully, like in terms of his career, that'll be a great move for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, I agree.
Got anything else?
No, I've got nothing to add. I got nothing to add on the Hutchinson situation. I again, yeah, he went to Chelsea to get playing time, but I think we knew how that was going to turn out anyway. But
the change of manager wouldn't have helped him either.
But I hope he does all right.
You're going to have to lose me just for a little bit, guys.
Okay.
So I'll leave you to it just for a minute. I'll be back in a little while.
Okay, no worries. What do you make of Lokonga going to Crystal Palace then? What have you made of Lokonga as a whole at Arsenal, really? That's what I've been asking.
I felt that's what he really needed.
Yeah.
Is a loan somewhere else. I think it might have helped him though going to a different league altogether.
Okay.
We've seen with Balogun and with the other ones in the French league.
Pepe. Nicolas Pepe.
No.
Tavares.
Yes.
Tavares.
Seeing those get on really well in that league, I just think it would have helped maybe that little bit more to, because he's still going to be, the only problem is he's still going to be right in the mix of it, and he looks completely, he started off really well for us, but then as the more and more it went on, he kind of started to look a bit lost. He's still going to be in that same kind of situation, really, in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if he'd have moved somewhere else. But
yeah, if he went to a different league in a different country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I said that out of the midfielders that we had in the first team, I think Lokonga was the weak. With all due respect to him, the least, not the least preferable option, but the weak link, I'd say, in the midfield. With all due respect, but and I thought that when he came on against Man City in the FA Cup, I thought, why are you bringing Lokonga on? He's not going to change the game for us. I know it might have been a case of you have the ability to prove the doubters wrong, but you know, in a game like that, I think, I don't know, it did not sit right with me. But he's gone on loan to Palace, joining Patrick Vieira, of course, Arsenal legend himself. But I hope he does well there, and I hope he gains the a bit more experience at a different club, and he comes back with again more experience, as we said. Cedric Suarez has gone to Fulham. What have you made of Cedric at Arsenal?
Permanently or
on loan, I think. Yeah, on loan.
He's one that every game that he plays, he always gives it 100%. So I don't think he.
You've got a pension, Sam.
Oh. Well, that's interesting to say. I mean, I was a bit more critical of Cedric. There you go. There he is.
Back. Yeah, I think he can leave Arsenal with kind of knowing that he gave it everything that he had. And he's one of those ones that I don't think many people really disliked. Yeah, I think he leaves quite well, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think you say he did give a 100. You said he gave 110%. I've always been a bit more. I think I was a bit more unfair to him. I think when me and Lee were talking about him at the start. I think when Tomiyasu got injured and Cedric came in, I did notice a bit of a difference. If you compare them to each other, I think that's where I was going there. But when I think it was when again in the Newcastle game last season when we lost 2-0, Tomiyasu got injured, Cedric came on. I did notice a bit of a difference in quality.
Yeah, I don't think he was. He was never the preferred option, but he wasn't someone that was going to cost us too much. He never he's not one that comes in and you think, oh my God, here we go now. It was always it's probably not as good, but it's not absolutely terrible. So, yeah, I just kind of run of the mill sort of middle-ish sort of player. He was always kind of a good squad player to have because, again, he wasn't terrible. So,
So a signing has just come in. Not for us, sadly. It's down the other end. Pedro Porro has just signed his contract as a new Tottenham player, valid until June 2028. Saga finally over. Those are the words of Fabrizio Romano there. So Tottenham have signed a player there. And
they're going to need a lot more than that.
At the moment, yeah. Do you remember when people were saying that Tottenham Hotspur had won the transfer window with all these players, and there we go. They're like, where are they now? Like fifth.
I just think they're not. The thing is, obviously, I don't want to see them do well at all. I never do, but they've got the best manager that they potentially could ever have. Like there isn't many managers now that you say.
I was when he first came in, I was very worried as an Arsenal fan. I thought, okay, they're gonna, and especially in the summer transfer, and I thought, oh god, they're gonna get serious now. And I was starting to be worried about they could potentially be title contenders. They got Conte in, they got a bunch of decent players. Thankfully, from an Arsenal perspective, it's not been that way. They started well this season, though.
Yeah, they're not. Again, they're just wasting opportunities because they're not, like I say, they're not going to get a better manager than what they've got now. So there we are. I'm not bothered. No skin off my teeth, but
it's a signing that was confirmed. I thought we could cover it. Here he is, Mr.
Hello.
Meadows. Hello. We were just talking about Tottenham. Tottenham have signed Pedro Porro. Yeah.
Finally over the line, is it?
Yes, the saga's finally over, Fabrizio says.
Goodness me, it's been a long going one, that one.
We were just saying they're going to need a lot more than that to get their feet back in the door.
Definitely. I mean, that's 2 right backs out and 1 coming in today for them.
Yes, of course. Matt Doherty, the English player, as I stupidly said, the Irish player going to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit more on Jorginho wearing the number 20 shirt, if you hadn't seen that already, for Arsenal. So make sure you
big
get your shirts now.
They're one of the best players you ever had the number 20 shirt.
What's that, Johan Juru?
No, Mustafi.
Yeah.
Mustafi, Juru, Jorginho. The 3 pillars of Arsenal.
That sounds like a tier list itself, doesn't it? The greatest number 20s that we've ever had.
Did Squillaci wear
Matthew
the number
Upson.
20? I can't remember.
There's another one. So yeah.
Oh my word. Did Squillaci wear the number 20? I can't remember.
He wore 18.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was going to say.
Hang on. I got a report coming in from St James's Park.
Oh.
Sean Longshalf has scored again. 21st minute gone. It's now 3-0 on aggregate.
Definitely done now, then.
I think it's pretty clear we're getting Man United and Newcastle in the final of the Carabao Cup. Both sides would really want... I know the Carabao Cup isn't exactly the be-all and end-all competition, as they say, but I think both teams would really want a trophy to mark their new era. Their new eras.
That's weird, though. He's got number 20.
Yeah.
That was Nuno Tavares' number.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's another great number 20. But
Mustafi, Juru, Tavares, Jorginho. That's a Mount Rushmore of Upson. Yes, Upson, Giroud, Mustafi,
I'm
Tavares.
sure there's a
That is the
goalkeeper in there as
Mount
well.
Rushmore of Arsenal number 20s.
I'm sure there's a goalkeeper amongst that lot that never actually put in the shirt.
There's another amazing centre back, one of the best again.
Senderos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my word.
Encyclopedic. Who's the goalkeeper that began with G?
It's here, but I don't know.
Was he
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
I'll put it in the comments, and then
Was he
you'll
on the
be able...
goalkeeper tier list video?
No,
No,
because he never,
okay.
he never even put on the jersey. He might have played a reserve game, but Sam will put it in the chat for us. So, I've just had a comment here. Yeah, there's a comment on the in the WhatsApp group. Newcastle scare me with their financial capabilities. As you said, it's almost like Leicester City with a bit of financial backing as well. Certainly a serious threat to people.
Yeah.
In the next couple of years. It's a great point.
I saw a tweet a while ago saying that Newcastle are turning into Man City, and at the moment they're at the Adebayor and Craig Bellamy stage.
There we go.
Is a good. William
Wames.
I don't know that name. I'm afraid that's a bit of a.
It was in the back of my brain.
I think that was a bit before my time. I think.
Yeah, you're not kidding, mate. You're not kidding.
It was. I think it says 0203. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great signing, Arsene. Well done, mate.
Apologies for the existential crisis, but I would have been about 2 or 3 at the time. So yeah.
I'll just get me walking stick out, guys.
It's not a number. It's not a number that's done well for us, to be fair. Apart from there's one that could potentially hold his head up with kind of that he was okay, and that was Flamini. Had it for 2 years.
Oh, of course, in his second spell.
Was it his second spell? Okay, I thought he meant his first spell.
Or first spell.
But that's the only one that can really.
Yeah. I suppose Matty Upson might have done, but he had the competition of the likes of Martin Keown and Tony Adams back then as well, didn't he? So yeah, Stevie Bold, yeah, a bit of a difficult one, but yeah, that's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Have we got anything else going on at the moment? I've seen Millwall.
Yeah, Bournemouth have just signed. Bournemouth have just signed a player. I'm going to butcher this.
Go for it, mate.
Ilya Zabaki joins Bournemouth on a permanent deal agreement until June 2028.
And that's from where?
It doesn't say, but I'll do my research here.
While you're doing that, I've just got a report in regarding El Nini. I said yesterday that his contract is
Dynamo
expiring.
Kiev he played for.
Okay. And it appears like they're going to exercise his 1-year extension. So he might not have seen the loss of it, which is great because Mo is never been a spectacular player, but he's been here a long time. I'd hate to see him leave the club like this with not being able to celebrate his if how decent the season has been so far. If I put it like that, you understand what I mean. Not wanting to get carried away.
Didn't he go out on loan at some point?
Yes, he did. This is his return spell.
Yes, of course.
Because he did start off with the number 4 shirt, I think, under Wenger, and then I think where was he? Where did he play away? Can you remember? Google is your friend, guys.
He signed from Basel. I know that.
Basel?
Yes.
From 40 Towers?
No, from Switzerland.
Come in there. I'll do it.
My favourite episode will probably get us kicked off YouTube. So
I know exactly what that is. As well.
I think I know what you're referencing. Don't mention it.
Mention
yeah,
it once, and I think I got away with it. Oh, it's a fun time of comedy. I know we're going totally off tangents and off
we
our
always
normal
do,
set
it's
of
fine.
subjects. But some of the stuff they got away with on that show was absolutely unbelievable. It is a different
As was
time,
the
ladies and
style at the
gents.
time.
As was the style at the time. So how have all three of us been on the screen without mentioning the Royal Rumble yet?
Because we are professional broadcast journalists, and we do not go off on any of those
Right.
tangents.
Okay. If you will.
But I'm going to be like Jim White now. Be with you for the last hour and a half.
Fantastic.
So I shall see you in an hour's time.
Thank you very much, Sam. We'll see you in a little bit, mate. Nice one.
See you in a bit.
Thank you.
So
The magnificent Sam Wilson there.
There we go. Marcel Sabitzer arrives at Carrington to complete Manchester United move, as Bayern and Man United have full agreement on loan deal. The documents are being prepared, so there we go. We're going to get another loan signing on the cards there. Sabitzer going to Man United.
Sounds like a drink, isn't it?
Yeah, sounds
That's
like
a spritzer, sorry.
Oh.
So yeah, I understand he's in Manchester. So yeah, that'll be all signed and sorted very, very shortly, I would imagine. I do know another loan deal that did happen a little while ago. Marvelous Macamba, possibly one of the greatest names in the Premier League in terms of having a marvelous name. It's gone out on loan to Luton Town. It's a bit of a a surprise, I guess.
I mean, you get a player called Marvelous, and he's going to Luton.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone else on my list that we haven't covered yet? I'm just looking a quick look down. No, so we are looking for anything that breaks. I guess.
Okay.
Wasn't there another one that's left Aston Villa today? A younger player, Ramsey.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacob Ramsey's gone out on loan, and I can't, for the life of me, think of if I just go out of that tab there.
Torgan Hazard, who is
the brother of
brother. Yeah, he's gone on loan to PSV from Borussia Dortmund. So that broke a while ago. I might have missed that tweet, I think.
Okay. You've just lost me on the picture just for a minute. It's only because I've just gone over to my PC. But I'm still with you in audio.
That's okay.
I'm just having a look at done deals. As we're just trying to.
Jed Spence, was that the player you were referring? Although
Jed Spence, yes, Tottenham, absolutely.
Yeah. There you go. Got there in the end.
There's another one which we haven't covered. I think this is a player that Newcastle were after in the summer. It was young West Ham defender Harrison Ashby, that's a permanent deal, gone to Newcastle for £3 million. Is there anything else? Permanent ones. We mentioned him. One gone to Leicester City. Hang on a second. Nathan Okpu, I believe.
Okay.
And that's a free transfer from Sporting Club. It's just having a look through the Sky Sports page here. There's a couple of names on that list that I don't know on the loan things, but if we're filling for time a little bit, a youngster, I guess, Joe Anderson leaving Everton to go to Sunderland.
Okay, yep.
But let's see, is there anyone else I know here? But,
a new signing has just come in. The Godfather says he signed a 5-year Legends contract with WWE.
Fantastic!
There we go.
That is the content we need to see. Good on Charles Wright.
Oh.
Right, I'll bring
Oh.
it back to the football because this is why
I,
we're here, right?
I'm actually impressed how we had not one, not two, but three wrestling fans, and we had no references coming in.
Yeah, absolutely
so there we are.
fantastic.
See that we can be professional, believe it or not.
Right, back on the football now. I haven't seen it, so I'm
Yes.
going to try and turn over very quick. But Southampton have got a goal back.
Oh, okay. Game on.
And I'm
let's-
too late to turn over, unfortunately.
That's all right. I've got the football score centre with me. Che Adams after 29
Adams.
minutes.
And there looks like a potential penalty shout in the middle of this as well for Newcastle. Looked like a shove back there in the penalty area. Obviously, I haven't got names and numbers written down today, but it looks like Wilson has just been taken down. Not Sam.
No, I hope not.
Not that Wilson.
No, Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just going to see how this play develops as we are waiting on news of any other deals. I have got another deal. I can tell you, Walker Peters, Southampton's right back.
Yeah.
They're doing the substitution sign on him right now. So he's obviously hurt himself, which is a massive blow for them.
Yeah, he's
so
he was a former Tottenham, sporadically played for Tottenham for a few games, and then he signed for Southampton.
That's right. They had Kyle Walker and Kyle Walker
Yeah,
Peters.
I was going to say, because I remember that. That was his debut. Oh, they replaced Kyle Walker with Kyle Walker.
I can see Che Adams' goal here. That's from outside the penalty area. That's a lovely strike on his right foot. So a glimmer of hope for Southampton there. I've gone into chat along mode, haven't I?
I might have a gander at that when the highlights come in if the goal's quite good.
Yeah, absolutely is. So if we're going to talk about a bit more transfer activity, you might remember Nathan Chalobah, former Chelsea youngster.
Yeah,
he was at Fulham. He has joined on an undisclosed fee to West Bromwich Albion. That's the second West Brom signing I've mentioned today.
Second, associated with Chelsea as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, just seeing the substitution for Southampton there. Is there anyone else that I know? We're talking very much lower league.
I've got the second Bournemouth signing for you.
Oh, go on.
Hamed Traore from, I think that's Sassuolo, because of the picture. That's the badge. Sassuolo, which is the club in Italy. Bournemouth have just signed him for 30 million euros plus add-ons included.
That is a lot of money.
And
that
Traore all done, yeah. I know.
I'd be worried a little bit, on that one.
Club like Bournemouth.
Yeah, absolutely. With the little bit perilous.
Yeah.
I don't. Look, I understand you want to try and help your survival and all that. I mean, what does anyone in the chat think? Just drop us anything in the chat. We'll try and answer it as best as we can because we are professional broadcast journalists. But put in someone who's certainly a name that's not very familiar with me.
No, not particularly with me either. I mean, he's one of the many footballers that have got Traore in his name. There's quite a few.
There's another tier list for you.
Tier list of Traores. that Traore who played for Arsenal in our 8-2 defeat to United.
Oh dear. But oh dear, that was a good time. Never mind.
There's an app, not an app. There's a like a website called Missing 11. It's a bit like a football equivalent of like Wordle or something that, where you have to fill in the starting 11 of certain teams in games. It's very good. And one of them was a few weeks ago, Arsenal's 8-2 defeat against Man United. And that team we put out,
my God.
I can see why we lost 8-2. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Yeah. Oh dear me. Yeah. But I tell you what, if you're filling for time until something else happens, we could play. Go for it.
No, I've done it. I've already done it.
Oh, fair. All right. Okay.
But yeah, I think that was Coquelin's first game for us. I think as well. But I think
he actually ended up doing all right.
he
Proper
did end up
defensive
quite
midfielder.
well. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a different
Miguel.
bracket
Do
of
you
time.
remember Miguel?
Miguel.
Miguel.
Left back?
Centre
left
back
back?
/ left back. Yeah.
He's most famous for doing the throw on, leading to Thierry Henry's goal and the comeback against Leeds in the FA Cup. Song played the pass.
Luca,
how are you?
How are you? I think he says, "Yeah, I'm doing
I think
good."
you're doing well, Luca. Hope you're doing well. Hope your stream went well today, mate. I know you weren't a happy boy today, mate. I know you're not a happy boy.
I saw the Desert Island Kickabouts with you and Luca.
Yeah,
it's good to see a fellow wrestling fan as part of our Gooner Gathering.
part of our Gooner Gathering stable for life.
Stable. The goons.
Look, Luca, we're in pretty good spirits, mate. You know, you know us. We're all nice and relaxed and professional broadcast journalists. So, but
Luca, what have you made of the likes of Lakonga or Cedric going out on loan and the like? I know how you think about Jorginho. I know in one of the comments you said get Edu out. I probably won't agree with that to an extent. I understand how you feel about it, but I think Edu's. I mean, he gave us Jesus, Sinchenkos, and players like that, and Trossard even. So I think
Martinelli
that was a bit
for peanuts as well. To be honest,
of course, yeah. But yeah, I was saying at the beginning, I understand both sides of the Jorginho argument.
Yeah, like I said, he's going to be one that. Do you know what? Until he jumps, onto the playing pitch, and I don't know how Partey is. I don't. Jorginho might even start against Everton, alongside Xhaka perhaps. And then you'll realise, he's actually a pretty decent player. And you don't have to be. Do you know, like we mentioned with Trossard, there's a bit of an outcry of the fact that he was a bit of a older player, if you like. I think you can't deny how important the fact having a little bit more experience in the club is going to be. Like I said, trying to get in some of them games when them games can come really thick, really fast and furious.
That's more of a film reference than a wrestling reference, but
it was. Yeah. But they can come real quick, can't they? At the end of the season, and a bit of experience like that around the place is going to do us a lot of good, I think.
I hope so. When you mentioned Partey's injury, as far as I'm aware, my sources were telling me that he seems to be fine. It's not a severe. It was a bit of a knock, I think, and it wasn't that much of a serious injury. And there's growing optimism in the team that he's going to be available for the Everton game.
But with any sort of doubt with Thomas Partey, as we've discussed a couple of times on our channel, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If Jorginho is match ready, I got no issues with him making a start there, perhaps. I mean, Everton's going to be a very physical game anyway. They're in an absolute dogfight, as you know. They're in dire trouble.
Well, they're going to be a bit more fired up because they've just got a new manager, haven't they?
Absolutely. Sean Dyche took over literally yesterday.
I'm a big fan of that appointment.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. He's a guy who did Everton well. Burnley punched above their weight, didn't they, in the Premier League?
Yeah.
And he's got Tarkowski over there as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, when you want to avoid relegation, and that's the battle for Everton now. I think Sean Dyche is their man, as opposed to Marcelo Bielsa.
I think
I would have, to an extent, I would have preferred Sean Dyche to take over if I was an Everton fan.
I think that's Everton's issue, isn't it? That they for them to avoid the relegation or,
Yeah.
or get them out of that, the best thing you can do with them is sort that defence out. And if you look player by player, they shouldn't be where they are.
Squad. It's not a bad
No.
squad.
If
You
look
saw...
at it, you've got the England goalkeeper there, you've got Tarkowski there, you've got Seamus Coleman, who maybe at the other end of his career, but he's still a decent player.
The second most favoured, my second most favoured Seamus from Ireland.
Very good, mate. Very good. That joke was mustard.
Michael Keane.
Michael Caine? No, McCain. Keane.
Michael Keane.
But not a lot of people know that.
Also, Damari Gray. Damari Gray, who scored that brilliant goal against Man City.
Absolute
helping us go 7 points clear at the top.
Absolutely.
So, always favoured by us that time.
And Calvert-Lewin up there as well. So you should have a base
you have
there.
The potential to not be a relegation type squad. And Calvert-Lewin is a shame. He was linked with us, wasn't he, a while back?
He was linked with us in the January window last year.
Yeah, and I think it was the start of the pandemic season, the almost full pandemic season when he did very well for Everton at the start, and then he got called up for England and he scored for England then. And
absolutely,
it's just went downhill since then, almost.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, he's just had a injury after injury after injury.
Yeah.
It's the Franny Jeffers effect, unfortunately.
Except he's not playing for Arsenal this time.
Yeah, it's the curse of the number 9s at Everton, I think.
But,
but I mean, the Everton issue goes way deeper than this season. In all fairness, Everton is a club that they've been gradually going down and down and down, and unfortunately, accepting mediocrity, I think, has been a real issue there. And they've fallen way lower their standards. The Everton fans deserve an awful lot better, in all fairness to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mentioned the full pandemic season. They were second near Christmas.
They finished in Champions League positions in one stage as well, didn't they?
In the Ancelotti
they
era.
hit the fourth. Yeah, they hit that fourth place. So, it's a sharp decline, and and like you said, I think Dyche is a great one to come over and at least give him a chance. I mean, he would have. I don't know if they've done any business just yet. I'm going to have another look up for Everton.
But I've not seen anything.
But it's going to be really difficult. I mean, it's just. I'm sorry. I'm going to camera off again and just carry on the audio just for a minute. But
no worries.
Really, really difficult because you're going into that job. And you've just been appointed just literally on the eve of the transfer deadline, and then you're trying to help the club survive in a really difficult situation. So it's we'll have to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be surprised to see Everton do something. Certainly a loan. I mean, I'm sure Sean Dyche wouldn't have been idle in his time away from the club or football, I should say, and we'll just keep an eye on anything that may happen there.
Yeah.
So he may have names in mind. I'm sure that'll be the case with him.
They lost Anthony Gordon as well to Newcastle.
Yeah, great point. With Anthony Gordon was, one of the shining lights in that club, and again, we went over to Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
Again, a case of money talks a little bit on this one, I think. But again, I think perhaps with the contract issue as well, it was one that potentially could be a great move for him. Certainly with the England international. Talking of England international, so I'm looking at Kieran Trippier over a free kick here, right in injury time. For the last.
Is it a dangerous free kick or?
It's a great crossing position. Newcastle are
okay.
really, really good
I
team
would
up in the
try
air.
and watch it, but I plug the laptop where the TV's usually plugged, so I can't really.
No worries, no worries. Listen, I'll talk you through it.
Usually,
Trippier plays the
I
ball
have
in. It's gone past everybody, but I think they might be able to recycle it on the left-hand side. And that's Bruno. Bruno playing again.
Okay.
Cross comes in
We've
on the
got,
left and it's cleared.
I'll give you a bit of behind-the-scenes action. Usually, I have to move my desk quite closer to my bed because the kind of extension wire where I plug a lot of things, I have to plug my laptop there so it gets to the, because there's two plug holes, if you will, on under my desk, the TV and my mini fridge. And if I keep
You've got a mini bar in there, mate.
If I keep plugging my mini fridge out, it's not going to work. It's going to be broken. So, what's more essential here?
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So that's half time at St James's Park.
Okay.
2-1 at half time. It's 3-1 on aggregate. And I'm back on screen. Hey there. How
Hello.
you doing? Right. So we are looking for anything else going on at the moment. Delphine Cole drawing in West Brom from Birmingham. That's in the ladies' game.
Who? Sorry.
Sorry, just 2 seconds. I'll wind myself back.
Okay.
Because
I thought you said Colton Cole for a minute.
No, Carlton Cole's well done, mate. I'm sorry. Oh dear. No, I've lost it.
Oh well.
Not to worry. So Isco was mentioned in the stream a little while ago, wasn't he?
Yes.
Sam said about him being offered to United, right? So Isco permanent move to Union Berlin in obviously Germany.
Okay.
He's moved over there, has collapsed due to disagreements over salary.
Ah.
That's interesting, being that Isco is actually out of contract, or what's the word? Unattached, I think is the words I should use there. So we'll await that one. Where are we now in time? We're 9 o'clock. Oh, Mrs. Meadows will be finished work in about 8 minutes. And she's
okay.
she's got to.
As we're waiting for some deadline day news to break out, I think it's time for Bertie's Ebbs Fleet highlight of the week. I reckon.
Hit it, mate. Go for it. Hit the intro.
It's time for Bertie's Ebbs Fleet highlight of the week. There we
Ta-da!
go.
I've got the banner for you as well, mate.
We played Concord Rangers on Saturday, who are a side that are lower down in the table. It's a side we're expected to win. We were 1-0 down inside 3 minutes, so that was a good
fantastic.
Start. I was standing actually near a few Concord fans, and they were celebrating. They said, "Oh, it's probably going to be 5-1 to the Fleet now, knowing us." It was 4-1 to the Fleet at full time. So they were nearly right there.
So the rut is over. You've got a couple of wins under your belt again, mate.
Yeah, after the two embarrassing defeats to our local rivals, Dartford. Think of Arsenal losing 3-0 and 4-1 to Tottenham. Think of that. That's what it felt like.
I'm in a happy place now. Don't do that.
No, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. But that's what it felt like as a Ebbsfleet fanatic.
Yeah.
But we've seemed to have come back on form now, and we're back on top of the league with a game in hand, which is
very nice.
Good. But as much as I would love to cover the chat along next for the Everton game, I'm afraid I won't be able to. Not the whole game anyway, because I've got Ebbsfleet duties, and
How would you fancy doing Ebbsfleet chat along live from the stadium? I'm joking.
You say that. You don't tempt me. But I think
look, you've got controls, buddy. You can do. I'll be at work, so look, you do what you want.
I feel a bit awkward vlogging, but it's not my forte, as I said. But
Look, if you want to do some clips or something, do it.
yeah, I took actually you mentioned I took a video of a penalty that was scored from us during the Concord game actually. So yeah,
Fair enough.
That you could that's a bit of us in action there. But the game as well as the Arsenal game, the Ebbsfleet game is very important as well. It's against it's first versus second
wow.
place Haventon Waterlooville. Some of you watching this might remember Haventon Waterlooville from when they played Liverpool in the FA Cup. They
Third
went in
round?
front. It might have been, I can't remember, but they were in front, weren't they? They didn't win, but they were in front.
He had the Stock of Saturday crew in absolute stitches because Phil Thompson was on the panel, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's who we have, and it's going to be I'm expecting quite a large attendance, so I'm going to have to get in the queue for the food quite early.
Absolutely. Just seeing pictures here on Sky of Jorginho meeting Saka and walking through the training facilities. There they are.
Okay.
They've just been released by the website, I guess.
Saw
moving pictures of Cancelo, the former Manchester City defender, over in Munich, doing his interview just a second ago. There, still, I think this is the most shocking transfer of the whole window so far. But it's still a couple of hours to play in the transfer deadline day. We are 2 hours and 4 minutes to go on the deadline, guys.
And we've been here through all. Well, we've been here through the start of the stream, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah. I think if Fran joins or someone else joins, I might have to take a bit of a leave of absence for a brief period of time.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it all goes, mate. We'll see how it goes because bear in mind my phone's not on a battery right now because of these things.
Okay.
And you know how reliable my PC is.
Also, I think you might need a bit of a break as well. So.
Well, so like I said, I'm without dinner and keeping an eye on my little girl. You can hear my voice going as well, can't you?
Yeah.
Which isn't any good because coming up over this weekend, although we can't be in place for a live match on Saturday, there is a live match in the WSL. It's West Ham United, and I believe Matt or Sam, I can't remember which one of them, are gonna join us. We're gonna cover that live. So
okay.
I believe the stream should be already set up for that. So if you're new to WSL as well, give it a watch. It's really, really, really interesting way of playing football.
I've seen a couple of moments. I know the Arsenal Chelsea game. I didn't see all of it, but I know that it was quite a heartbreaking result, wasn't it? With the last minute
equaliser.
Those were two teams that are racing for the title, aren't they?
And they drew each other yesterday in the FA Cup for the 5th round draw. And that'll be at King's Meadow coming up. So I stumbled on that yesterday. I've stumbled it again today. I can't believe it. Should be able to say Meadow, shouldn't I? But yeah, a heck of an FA Cup tie to be played after Arsenal's 9-0 win against Leeds over the weekend. 9-0, I know. Don't get that score very often.
Yeah, I know. That's
the second 9-0 in 2 months.
Here we go. And if we get Russo in the team,
that'd be a good bit of booking, wouldn't it?
Oh, book it, Hunter. If you're still in charge of radio at the time.
Is anyone in the comments want to add their thoughts to what we are talking about? We are going in tangents over the deadline day. You don't even have to be Arsenal fans. Look, just drop whoever's in the chat to say hello. Give us a subscribe.
Fabrizio's been a bit quiet for 22 minutes, so
Well, he's probably gone for a wee and a cup of tea, probably.
Yeah, probably. I think that can only mean, or it can only mean he's about to drop a huge transfer bomb coming up. I don't know.
It could be. Who is that Leeds defender who's just moved? Oh, that might be old news, but I'll talk about it because I don't think we've gone there. Let me just see if I can see that on the screen. Newcastle and Everton still fighting it out for Conor Gallagher.
Oh yes, he's been in talks to get some playing time at a club like I was surprised he didn't come back to Palace, but they got Lokonga now.
Yeah. Let me just see if I can see this name underneath the banner. Leeds have confirmed the signing of Diego Montero from Servette. And I think there's one gone out as well. But I'm trying to find that and I'm struggling to see that at the moment. And Tottenham have signed an academy striker from Chelsea. Right, hold on a second.
Someone's just tweeted, I'm hearing Chelsea are going to bid £35 million for Jorginho.
To be fair, that's quite funny. So, the player I mentioned just there, so Tottenham have signed academy forward Jude Sunup Bell, a double-barreled name. So it's a 2025 contract. I suppose he's going to challenge Harry Kane for that position up front.
I suppose it's the only way Tottenham can sign a player with Jude Bell in their name. Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah, you had me thinking just for a second then.
I know. Usually,
it's been a long day. You can see my eyes. Look.
It's not the first time a joke that I've made.
You've seen droopy.
Oh, I know. Oh, bags under the bags.
Absolutely, and that. The joys of being absolutely. No, I don't know what you're talking about. No,
you don't.
It's
trying to over 24.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Much love to you too. You know, but the joys of having a very early start to my day with my car being knackered as well as not helping me. But trying to keep on top of everything I ever hear as well. It's a busy boy I am.
Absolutely, and so again,
it's all got a little bit quiet, isn't it? Just it feels like the calm before the storm, doesn't it?
Manchester United and Bayern are now signing contracts for Sabitzer. Deal official soon, says Fabrizio Romano. I mean, we knew that already, but okay, go on.
How about just a little note with the Jorginho deal, which has just been brought to my attention. You may have seen the stories regarding Declan Rice baby.
Yes. Okay.
So the fact that we have Jorginho in doesn't affect them plans, and it's looking quite concrete plans, to be honest, from what I'm reading.
For Rice to join Arsenal.
Yeah.
I hope
Breaking
so.
news. Breaking news on the screen. Right, Crystal Palace sign Noura Amada. Got that one?
Okay.
Again, a player that I'm obviously really familiar with, and I've nailed the pronunciation absolutely spot on, as you know. And Suarez is just completing his medical tests now, according. I think
Luis
he might
Suarez?
have been.
No,
Cedric Suarez
to Fulham.
Yeah, absolutely. So Declan Rice looking very likely to join Arsenal in the summer. Didn't want to leave West Ham in the middle of the season.
No.
I suppose he's club captain over there as well, isn't he? At the Hammers. and that's to be admired. To be fair,
my issue is with, again, the big name players that we try and get, like Vlahovic and João Felix, players like that. They end up U-turning at the last minute and then going to a different club. And I just hope that isn't the case for Declan Rice, because I would absolutely, as Kevin Keegan said, I'd love it. I'd love it if he's signed for us.
no, it'd be a class signing, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And if we can't get
Him
the
and
lad,
Saka in the same team again.
yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh,
Core of England for a little while, I would think.
yeah.
But look, it's we'll see. It's if we can't get the lad from Brighton, I want to say Cancelo, but that's not quite right. Casado, thank you. If we can't get him, if that's out of the, if Brighton aren't willing to take the money on that one, that is their prerogative, you know.
Yeah,
so
I can't see him signing for us in the closing hours. I can't. Famous last words, maybe, but at this point in time, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah,
just playing Jorginho as well. So
again, they did say that any sort of signing that we might do, as we can see Jorginho's gesture on the screen here. I almost look like just like him. So he could be a bit handy. No,
just as good looking.
Almost. They did say that, you know, anything that we're doing here with Jorginho wouldn't affect what we were actually if we could. And they were talking about putting the flat fee down as well, weren't they? So, and that would have been extraordinary for Arsenal doing something like that. But I suppose it goes how high they rate him. Again, it makes you think how highly they rate him over at Brighton, and whatever happened on that social media thing, whether he was ill-advised or a member of his team put something out and they really shouldn't have done. It's one of them things. Yeah, it would have been an opportunity of a lifetime. Would have been a record fee as well. But you said, I don't. As time ticks down, it is not looking likely.
Well, there we have it with Casiedo at Arsenal. Then
it's almost like we've hit a bit of a we got nothing else now at the moment.
We need. Where's Harry Redknapp in his taxi? We need, you know. We need something like that.
What's this? This Southampton. Oh, I've missed it. There was something breaking there, chasing a striker for Southampton. So I'll have another look at it as it comes by again. We mentioned Mo El Neni a little while ago with the potential of his contract perhaps being activating his 1 year extension. The club mentioned earlier on today that the right knee has picked up what they are terming as a considerable injury, but whether that means he's out of the season, I'm not sure. Again, that would be one of the reasons potentially why they bought Jorginho.
Yeah, as cover, as backup for El Neni who's injured, and Lokonga has gone on loan. I'm doing very well, Miss Molina. Good to see you.
All the better for seeing you in the chat, Miss Molina. Hope you're doing well. How's your streaming going, Molina? Are you back permanently on the YouTube now? We hope so.
That was good having her on that episode.
It was, wasn't it? It was made a different dynamic to the whole thing. It was good. Tell you what, if I can get her on, and if we can sort out the time difference as well, Miss Molina, we would love to have you back on the channel at some stage. Maybe doing a desert island.
Oh yes. She says, I haven't done a stream in a very long time. I do not have time to do YouTube appearances much because of work commitments. I got a new job, unfortunately. Congratulations.
No, good on her. Miss Molina, the invitation is always there, and you've got our DMs. Just drop us a DM whenever you can, and I'll respond to you as soon as I can.
And there we go. come on soon on weekends whenever she can.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. There's Mikel, Edu, and Jorginho on the screen with the shirt there. I just wonder if they are done for the day at Arsenal today. If anything, it was maybe a couple of younger players out, perhaps. And there's the statement that you read a little while ago.
Yeah. In fact, where was it? I found. I think it was Charles Watts who did that tweet. I will recap on that again. Edu said on Jorginho, Jorginho is an established professional with a strong mentality who brings quality and experience. He is a player who fits our style of play, and he joins us at a very good moment where he can contribute in a key position to help maintain our momentum. And Jorginho said on Arteta, he was a big influence because I know that he tried a few times to get me before and it didn't happen due to other reasons, not because of my wishes. So, of course, he had a big influence. So that's what they were saying with each other. I do, of course, with some encouraging words about Jorginho there. And Jorginho's got a lot of praise for Arteta. So, although I guess he has to say that, doesn't he? It'd be a bit weird if he comes in and goes, yeah, I hate Arteta. He's a bit of a bad guy. I just signed, haven't I? It'd be a bit weird if he did that. But yeah, good words anyway.
I've got a statement from Chelsea as well from about Jorginho.
Yeah.
And they say from a club statement, a leader on and off the pitch from the moment he arrived in West London from Napoli. Jorginho was coolness personified from the penalty spot with his trademark hop-skip technique. Perhaps his most iconic conversation was the injury time winner at home to Leeds last season. His second in the second game, sparking pandemonium at the Bridge. That's directly from Chelsea.
Yes. Well, look, I mean, I know a lot of our fan base has treated Jorginho as like a terrible player. He is not. I can think of many worse players, many. But Jorginho, I think he's not that bad. I think
he's not a bad player at all, mate.
Rice and Casiedo, I think it's a cover signing. It's a squad depth signing. I think.
Yeah. And there's a continuation on the statement from Chelsea, and I know you can hear my daughter because she started to talk quite loud. So. Listen, if Fran doesn't jump in anytime soon, we might wrap this in a bit, and maybe sort of and sort of we'll have a little retrospect on the late hours of deadline day coming up. They continue. So a friendly and funny guy off the pitch. Jorginho leaves Chelsea with 213 appearances to his name, 4 winners' medals, none more precious than the 2021 Champions League success, where he played a major part. Good luck in the future, Georgie. So that's a really classy statement from Chelsea, actually, and I'm sure he appreciates that. And maybe that sort of statement just will maybe tick a few minds as well in our fan base as well. They clearly think of him really, really highly, and perhaps. Because he wasn't getting a little bit of game time, but they had that utmost respect for him. They didn't want to sort of hinder his opportunity and trying to get some and perhaps an exciting end to a Premier League for us. But not counting my chickens or anything, because anything can happen. But a lovely words from Chelsea from their club's statement at chelseafc.com.
Of course. I think you're right there. If Fran doesn't appear soon, I think we will call it quits. Although I can imagine the moment we do, there's an announcement. Lionel Messi has signed for Nottingham Forest or something.
I love the fact you went for Forest.
I don't. It was the first.
Do you know what? It could have gone anywhere, but not Norwich.
Not Norwich. I didn't say Norwich for obvious reasons.
But yeah, I think after a record for us 2 hours, 15-minute stream, guys.
There we go.
I think we will wrap it up. It's been a long night. I do have to take care of my little girl. And it's getting quite late for her. I need to eat my dinner and get ready for an early start in the morning, guys. So I will just say my thanks to Bertie for being here all the way through. Many thanks to Matt Roberts for jumping in under a secret disguise, clearly. Sam Wilson has been jumping in and contributing excellently as ever. And I know I've got Matt Roberts' one there somewhere. There he is. There's Matt. Matt LR28 on Twitter. I don't have Sam's, but I think you know it off the top of your head.
At Sam Wilson AFC.
Absolutely is. And so we are broadcasting over Twitter, my Facebook page, and over here, of course. So look, anyone who's new to us, we permanently live here on YouTube. This is Gooner Gathering. Please don't forget to give us a follow, give us a like, consider following us on Twitter as well. That's at Posh Bertie. I am at Gooner Lee Meads. This is at Gooner Gathering. I've really enjoyed being on with you tonight, Posh. So thank you for being with us.
Likewise.
And good night from us. We'll see you later. Cheers.
See you later.
Come on, Arsenal.